I am 35, and I have been with my husband, Daniel, for 9 years. We have 2 children. From the outside, our life probably looks stable. Daniel is dependable. He works hard. He is good with the kids. He does not shout. He does not disappear. For a long time, I thought those things meant our marriage was strong. Now I am not sure they meant what I believed they did. The first problem was his family. Daniel grew up in a close family. His parents live 20 minutes away. His 2 sisters live nearby. They celebrate every birthday, every holiday, every school performance, and every small milestone. I did not grow up like that. My own family was chaotic. I stopped speaking to my mother years ago. My father died when I was 23. My older brother and I are civil, but not close. When I met Daniel's family, I wanted badly to belong. I thought marriage would make that happen. It did not. His parents were polite to me. They were never openly rude. But after nearly a decade, I still felt like a guest. They asked Daniel questions about work. They asked the children about school. They asked me whether I wanted more coffee. That was usually the depth of it. I tried to start conversations. I brought food. I remembered birthdays. I offered help. Nothing changed. His younger sister's boyfriend had been around for less than a year when Daniel's mother began calling him one of us. I had been married into the family for 6 years at that point. No one ever said that about me. When I told Daniel it hurt, he said, "They are just more comfortable with outgoing people." I asked whether they had ever tried to become comfortable with me. He said I was taking it personally. It was personal. The second problem was childcare. Daniel's parents watched our children 3 days a week. At first, I was grateful. We saved money. The kids loved them. It gave Daniel and me room to work. But free childcare came with conditions nobody admitted were conditions. His mother ignored our routines. She gave the kids food we asked her not to give them. She let them stay up late. She dismissed our rules by saying, "Grandparents are supposed to spoil them." If I objected, Daniel told me not to make his parents feel unappreciated. If the children came home overtired or upset, I handled it. Daniel said his parents were helping us, so I needed to be flexible. Flexible always meant I adjusted. They never did. When our youngest, Milo, turned 3, I suggested preschool 2 days a week. He was social. He loved other children. I thought he would benefit from structure. Daniel immediately said no. He said paying for childcare when his parents were available made no sense. I explained that it was not only about childcare. It was about routine. It was about social development. It was about having an option that did not depend on his parents' schedule. He said I was trying to replace them. I said, "This is about Milo." He answered, "Everything is always about what you think is best." That sentence stayed with me because most family decisions were already based on what worked for him. His work schedule, his parents, his comfort. I was simply the person who made the system function. The argument lasted for weeks. Daniel would not discuss it. He said I was pestering him. His mother found out and became offended. She called me and said, "I thought you trusted us." I told her I did trust her. I also wanted Milo to have a classroom experience. She said, "He has cousins here." I said cousins were not the same as preschool. She became quiet. Then she said, "I suppose nothing we do is enough for you." That was not what I said, but it became the family version of the story. I was ungrateful. I wanted to waste money. I thought I knew better than everyone. Daniel did not correct them. Around the same time, Daniel became more protective of his phone. He had always been private. I had never cared. We did not check each other's messages. We did not share passwords. But this was different. He started turning the screen away. He carried the phone into the bathroom. If I picked it up to change music in the car, he took it from me. When I asked why, he said, "I am allowed to have privacy." I agreed. Then I said secrecy and privacy were not the same. He accused me of being controlling. I told myself I was imagining things. I had enough conflict with his family. I did not want another problem. Then, my mother-in-law added me to a family group chat by mistake. I know it was a mistake because she removed me less than a minute later. Before she did, I saw several messages. They were discussing Milo's preschool. Daniel's sister had written, "She always has to create a problem." His mother replied, "Daniel said she will get over it." Then Daniel wrote, "I just need to let her feel heard until she drops it." I stared at that sentence for a long time. He had not been avoiding the conversation because he needed time. He was waiting for me to give up. I confronted him that night. He admitted the messages were real. He said he had been venting. I asked why he told his family I would get over it, instead of telling them this was a decision between us. He said, "Because I knew they would be hurt." I asked, "What about me?" He replied, "You are stronger than they are." That was supposed to explain everything. Instead, it explained too much. His family's feelings were protected because they were considered fragile. Mine were spent because I was considered capable. I told him I wanted us to attend counseling. He agreed quickly. That gave me hope. For 2 sessions, he said all the right things. He said he understood I felt excluded. He said we needed better boundaries with his parents. He said the phone issue was only stress. Then the counselor asked him whether he saw his parents as part of our marriage. Daniel said no. The counselor asked why they knew about private disagreements before I knew his position. He became defensive. He said family support was normal. I said, "Support is not the same as building a case against your wife." He replied, "You make everything sound worse than it is." The counselor asked him to give one example of a time he had supported me against his family. He could not. The turning point came 2 months later. I was changing the sheets when I found an old phone under our bed. It was not Daniel's current phone. It was a cheap prepaid phone. At first, I thought it belonged to one of the children. Then Daniel walked into the room and froze. I asked whose it was. He said he had never seen it. Then he reached for it. I moved away. He said, "Give me the phone." I asked again who it belonged to. He said I was violating his privacy. That was when I knew. I took the children to my friend Laura's house. I charged the phone. There was only one contact, a woman named Rachel. I recognized the name. She had dated Daniel before we met. The messages went back years, not every day, not even every week, but consistently. He told her things he never told me. He complained about our marriage. He said I was difficult. He said I had turned his family against him, even though it was the other way around. He wrote that he stayed because leaving would hurt the children. Then I found the message that broke me. During the year I was recovering from surgery, he told Rachel that sometimes he imagined what life would look like if I were simply gone, not divorced. Gone. He wrote, "Then nobody would blame me for starting over." I called Daniel. He denied having an affair. He said they had only talked. I read the messages aloud. He said they were private thoughts. I asked why Rachel got his private thoughts while I got silence. He said, "Because you turn everything into a confrontation." I asked whether he had ever wanted me to die. He said no. Then he said, "You know people say things when they feel trapped." Trapped. That word ended the marriage for me. For 9 years, I had tried to become part of his life. He had experienced me as the thing preventing him from living it. His family reacted exactly as I expected. His mother said emotional affairs were not real affairs. His sister said I should not make a permanent decision based on private messages. His father said every marriage had ugly thoughts. Daniel told them I had stolen his phone. Nobody asked why he had hidden it. Nobody asked why he lied. Nobody asked why he gave another woman years of emotional intimacy while telling me I was too demanding for wanting a conversation. I filed for separation. Daniel begged me to reconsider. He said he would end contact with Rachel. He said he would leave the family group chat. He said Milo could attend preschool 5 days a week if I wanted. That last offer made me laugh. For months, 2 days had been unreasonable. Now 5 days were possible because the marriage was at risk. It was never about money. It was never about logistics. It was about whether my wishes mattered before they had consequences for him. We are living separately now. The children spend time with both of us. Milo started preschool 3 mornings a week. He loves it. Daniel's parents still watch the children sometimes. The difference is that I no longer depend on them. That has changed the balance. When they ignore a rule, I address it. If they become offended, I let them be offended. I do not confuse help with authority anymore. Daniel and I are in counseling, but not to save the marriage. We are trying to become better co-parents. He says he loved me. I believe he loved parts of our life. The children, the house, the stability, the version of me who kept everything smooth. I do not know whether he loved the person who had needs of her own. Maybe he did. Maybe he just never learned how to choose a wife when choosing her disappointed his family. His mother recently asked whether I would attend Christmas dinner. She said the children deserved one normal holiday. I told her separate holidays could also be normal. She said I was breaking the family. I answered, I spent years trying to join this family. You only noticed me when I left it. She did not reply. I still question myself. Daniel never hit me. He did not leave. He worked. He parented. He supported me publicly when I was sick. Some people would say those things should matter more than messages. But I cannot stop thinking about the distance between the husband everyone saw and the man who hid a phone under our bed. Maybe marriage is not destroyed by one secret. Maybe it is destroyed by years of small choices about whose feelings matter, whose privacy is protected, and whose voice is expected to disappear. So I keep asking myself the same question. Did I leave because of what he wrote, or because finding the phone finally proved I had never imagined the rest?